Good morning, Canadians and First Peoples. We have massive, massive breaking news. No Canadian, in fact, nobody outside of some serious inner circles in media has this story out yet. It's coming in the next 2 days. It's huge, it's massive. There are speculative stories, and I'm going to get into that. I'm only doing the live because it's major. I promised last Sunday I would do a Q&A. I have trouble with that. I have Tina Maravich right behind me, or sorry, I guess in front of me, behind all of you on this live stream. She's going to watch the live as I do it on her phone. Whatever questions you come up with, if I'm not addressing it, it's because when I host the live, I don't know what type of automatic Facebook Canada is relayed. Meaning, I can scroll through, you guys can be pumping out questions live, and I won't see them because I can't change it till after live's done, which means there is no live Q&A session for a lot of you. Not everybody, but depending on how Facebook Canada has put you in comments, meaning most relevant to what I've put in the title, you could get scrubbed out and put in all comments. I don't run away from question and answers. I just don't get it on the platform. Not all of you are made readily available to me. So Tina's streaming it. She's watching it. As your questions go and we get through this stream at the end, I will do question and answer. If you're missed and it appears like I'm ignoring you, it's because I don't see you. It's not my fault. That's the design of Canada. Facebook, your government of Canada, makes it that way in this country. No other reason. That's the truth. I tagged Michael Bloomberg. You guys, if you haven't seen any of the Super Bowl ads, or if you're not on Spotify or a range of other products and services online, and you haven't heard the new ads from Bloomberg, I can tell you everything I believe in, everything I talk about, that is the ads going forward by Bloomberg. They're incredible. It's why, regardless of what people say, why I will be choosing Bloomberg as our media when we go forward with our party. Every party gets one. In Canada, I would very much like it to be CTV. It doesn't always work that way from our crown system in Canada. I can tell you that CTV, the private company, was absolutely the media for me and my party that gave us free reign and didn't give the propaganda, didn't attack, at least not as much as the overwhelming majority of paid media. CTV treated me the fairest. Did they publish everything? No. Was it cut down by editors and those that own the organization? Of course, like every media. But they were the most fairest. CTV, I tag you in this simply. I know you go with a lot we talk about. A lot of stories are put out. I know there are those who watch what I'm doing, and I love that, even if it's not the narrative as it should be, always intact. At least you chase it. I do see that. So, for CTV and everybody else, if you haven't seen the new ads, disruptive, worldly, international, law, all of it as I go through it. Check it out, everybody. That is me inside Bloomberg. That is the work I've been doing with Bloomberg News for well over a year and a half. It's incredible. Just as this story on Boris Johnson that I'm now going to give to all of you 2 days before it comes out. It is the end of Boris Johnson. There are a pile of people going down the toilet. The Brexit leader, Boris Johnson, and all his narrative. Time is ticking. The end of Boris Johnson is now here. I can tell you all clearly, he has lost massive, massive support in his inner circle. It's all falling apart. Boris Johnson is being left on his own. For everybody who doesn't understand this happened to one President Donald Trump. The inner circle, the Trump administration, fell apart in November. November, the official election. As soon as it was established Trump lost, they all started migrating away from him. Donald Trump's biggest troubles happened when he was left to his own vices, his own executive power from November till absolutely February of 2021. That was the end of Donald Trump. And why? Because there were no checks and balances, the strong minds of the administration at or around him any longer, and it only got weaker as the days progressed and progressed until eventually he was completely dissolved, and then he's in the world of trouble he's in today. Nobody is all omnipotent. Nobody knows everything. And you need key, intelligent people going forward when you're in a position of power. And when those all migrate away, you become that which you are. And often that is against the will of the people. It's against the advice of smart individuals there to protect you in the checks and balances which are your country. This is happening to Boris Johnson as I do this live. And in the next 2 days, you're going to watch Boris Johnson lose confidence, and likely in the months to come, we're going to see a challenge to one Boris Johnson and his leadership. If not immediately in the weeks to follow, it's going to be within months. Mark my words. This is all being talked about, ironed out with Bloomberg News. I'm in the story right now. I sit there giving my research, my whys to that story. That's what's going on right now. A story likely to come forward in the next 48 hours by top minds in the United States of America. Already we're seeing it leaked out in certain narratives, but not to the extent of what it really is and what it really means, ladies and gentlemen. It is the beginning of the end of Boris Johnson. Absolutely. When your inner trusted circle, when you're a leader in power, I don't care what country, when you lose those closest to you in your inner circle, it is the beginning of the end. Boris Johnson is absolutely on his way out. Believe it or not, it's coming. It's coming in news stories. Watch over the next 2 days. Too many bleeding out. Another Donald Trump situation. And at that point, nobody knows everything. Nobody knows all the laws. These people sound intelligent. They look intelligent. They're only as talented as the teleprompter placed in front of them. The speech you heard from Erin O'Toole, where you can see the one inner red eye, and you can see the color pigmentation changed in the mustache area of the face, very red. You can see up to the nose, very red. He had been crying, ladies and gentlemen. For anyone who doesn't know what that symbolizes, that's a cleaned up O'Toole who needed several hours, because some of us released the story and they panicked. They have to write up a teleprompter. It takes hours to get that person ready. Never mind the kicking, stomping my feet. No, it's my party. I won't let it go. In the end, it was transferred to one Candace Bergen. An identical toe-to-toe Erin O'Toole. Nothing has changed. You're all seeing the news. She's going with the convoy, supporting, telling Canadians in a full lie, a full crown lie, that your best chance to end all mandates is to storm Ottawa. When Canadians, all vaccine mandates are created provincially. All business foreclosures are created provincially. All mask mandates are created provincially. Every municipality rolls out a provincial narrative. It does not come from Ottawa. The only thing you can challenge in Ottawa legally, in any real credible storm the House, present your narrative, is vaccine mandates for federal employees and Canada's version of cross-border mandates that Joe Biden doesn't have to honor, you guys. He can order American soldiers to arrest you at the border should you try to force your way across. Justin Trudeau has no say in that. I'm not saying he's not a piece of shit. I'm not saying he's the ultimate in ugliness of the crown. He most certainly is. But Canadians, if you ignore the legal system of the crown in Canada, meaning you're going to go forward thinking that you can stormroll Ottawa and Justin Trudeau is going to end all federalism, meaning Justin Trudeau is going to enact an order that he rescinds all provincial powers of Section 92 by way of Governor General, Lieutenant Governors, and the Premiers all vote this forward. That could happen. Maybe he'll make some sweetheart deal. But what you're going to get is nothing but a foreign narrative to actually strengthen the crown. To see the crown turn you into a unitary system, meaning provinces will have zero power, zero say. Cities at their size decide. The federal government is moved by the biggest municipalities, the largest voting share. Rural Canadians can kiss everything goodbye. You will all be transformed. Every business owner, every Canadian citizen will be transformed into currently the Canadian Indian under the Indian Act. Unitarianism for all. You will be a glorified First Nations person in treaty-ceded, unceded land. The federal government will dictate to you what applies, while provincial lords rape and remove all your lands at will. That is the Constitution of Canada. The trucker convoy has brought to light much education for a lot of people, as we see in Coutts, Alberta. But much of those anti-vaxxers still don't get it. Your convoy, your trash hammering in Ottawa, which it's a protest, go for it, do it, but realize the things you're asking for in large portion can only be given by one Doug Ford. It's up to Doug Ford's privy. And since there is no convoy going around the legislature, which if you go there, a lot of you have, why are you guys not driving trucks and plugging up that corridor that is a spider arm to all, including Ottawa? All including Ottawa. It's a spider arm out to every single major borough. That is where your protest must be. Just like Coutts, Alberta. You must hit those who put the mandates on you. Every province has a different set of mandates. Every town and municipality following provincial government has their own mandates. Masking, business closures, hours of operation, all of it. All of it. Even the provincial health ministries create the emergency acts of the province. People, why have you not woken up yet? Ottawa is not ground zero for getting change. It is if you want to move from federalism to Unitarianism, which Trudeau wants. It's almost like now the convoy works for the Liberals. Like somehow somebody works for the Liberals there. Look what the destruction to the Conservative Party. Did Trudeau not say it would be Aaron O'Toole who pays the highest price? And did he not pay? Now we have a carbon copy federal ministry from that crown, Candice Bergen, who is a carbon copy of Aaron O'Toole, rolling out Aaron O'Toole again. A Privy Council member, everybody. There is no narrative for any of you. All the mandates, your vaxports, all of it, everything. 95% of it comes from your province. The health ministry. That's not federal, you guys. That's provincial. Ontario rolls out its own. Nova Scotia, as you've all seen, rolls out their own emergency measures. Alberta's rolling out its own. Everybody does their own thing. With zero oversight, in full autocracy, in only absolute support of the Crown. Now, Justin Trudeau and his Governor General can support all those provinces and allowing them to enact whatever they want. as long as they give him something. As you watched, Alberta gave something. What did Jason Kenney give? Oh yeah, $10 a day daycare. Oh yeah. What did Doug Ford? Oh yeah, $10 a day daycare. He signed on too. Oh yeah. Jeez, I never thought of all this stuff. Did you, all the people, vote for that? Did you guys get some kind of referendum? I didn't. I know I didn't. I don't even think it was ever even really debated. Not in any open public forum. I don't remember them going around asking anybody anything. It definitely was not on any of those provinces' agenda to be elected. I can show you everybody's rollout from all their commentary on all the debates, provincially and federally. None of this was ever mandated, but somehow it's all been adopted. Well, how did that happen? How come no one's saying nothing? What happened to all these issues from the elections? And each province has their own. Not one addressed. In fact, we've gone into some kind of federal narrative of what's good for Justin Trudeau and what's good for each and every individual premier. What they think's good for all of you. Who cares about the commentary during the election? That's just fluff to get elected. Once in power, it's my divine right to decide what's best for all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're being fed is nothing that was ever relayed to you from any election. Go look at the platforms. They're still there to view. Nothing we see today is anywhere near anything in anyone's election platform. It's created. Once you get the crown, you're divine. You do whatever you want. Free from any rules of governance, at least provincially. No rules on how to govern. There's none. All that's there is your crown autocracy. 100%. Because there are no constitutions cementing what a government can or can't do, or limits in accountability. Checks and balances like many other constitutional republics around the world. Even Russia and USA. I can tell you that in Russia right now, you can go on their biggest subway. No one wears a mask. Sure, federal mandates posted everywhere. Do you think any cops follow that or anyone's enforcing nothing? No, because in the former Soviet Union, and I'm going to get into Dawood Polansky and, of course, Artur Polansky, right now arrested again. The Polak Canadian. Another thing I want to highlight, Canadians. I talk about getting American-Canadian dual citizenship. So many. Stephen Harper Andrew Scheer had to give it up while he was about, I'll renounce my American citizenship. But yet right now, provincially, federally, right across Canada, federally and provincially, there are ministers of India, Canadian dual citizenship, UK Canadian citizenship. It goes all the way through Africa. Dual citizens. First time Canadian citizens. Listen to their accent, folks. And you're saying, no, make a big spectacle of it. That's normal. They're part of the Commonwealth. It's okay. Their worship, their eminence, your Lord, my divinity. These words that give connotations. The crown customary law that's Canada. Now, Bloomberg's going full tilt with it. I love it. People criticize me about Democrats. Those high academic Democrats, Michael Bloomberg and the rest of it, look at the new ad. CTV. You want to be a private news media outlet? I suggest you go follow in Bloomberg's footsteps. Those are beautiful ads. It articulates everything, the essence of what I'm doing and everything I am. I love it, Michael Bloomberg. God bless you. God bless this incredible year and a half narrative I've got to do. All of you have welcomed me in. It's unbelievable. It's beautiful to see Democrats waking up to what Joe Biden is, what Donald Trump aspired to be in the end, how it works. We all work together. We give our little light bulb in the Christmas tree in this world of knowledge. And every light has its own little unique gift. And I thank you for giving me this time, this stage. I hope for Canada's sake, one news media outlet, CTV, I know many of you are watching in those few. Take it forward, make the changes you need to make. I know many of you want to in the organization. You're a private invested firm. You're regular people. You try to do right. And you wonder why these empowered colonial laws come and crush you, where editors change, and why your story gets cut, who gets paid for stories, and you fight it, but you're losing the battle. Take Bloomberg as is. Michael Bloomberg and his newest ads are brilliant, beautiful, the essence of everything I believe in, everything I'm trying to do, and I will do with the United States of America and Russia. Which brings me in to the next narrative as Bloomberg is pumping it out, it's coming forward. Some of you will see it in a lot of foreign media right now if you go look for it. Canada's got its own brand, but the worst thing we could do, Canadians, this country, Canada, which is a federalist system, heavy crown abuses to usurp it all. It's never run right. It's never run right. Not it was as it was designed. And even in 1867, it still called for provinces to establish constitutions. Look to the United States. You're not going, your eminence, your grace, your worship. These are Canadian terms, Commonwealth terms, teaching all of you from the day you're born, this big, to the day you die as an old man or woman. You learn to address the government, its entire system, in mannerisms of God. And if you don't think those defined terms don't reduce you, don't subconsciously ruin you, a friend of mine shares a year-and-a-half old video from the municipality of Stony Plain. And while what's being said there, it articulates everything and everything to come, the issue was that every other sentence addressed the mayor as your worship. When you imagine, everybody, you're a good, solid person who got into politics to get there to make changes. How long, how many days hearing yourself referred to as your grace, your worship, your highness? We can go on, because literally there are dozens of them from the Crown Customary Law. How many times when you're addressed that way by all your subordinates, all the people, how long until you believe in your divinity? How long until you warp? Knowing you went to school in the same education system as everybody else, how long until the definitions of those words in your subconscious transform you into believing your supremacy of God? This shirt is funny to wear. It's Queen's album. I love music, but I told Tina I'd wear this shirt for this video because it goes through all of it. He was from India too. India, although they went independent in 1948, they kept and stole all the crown powers too. Governor General, Lieutenant Governor there. Their courts are usurped the exact same way. They did get independence, but they did not get independence from the crown. Usurping all democracy like anybody else. It needs to be done. It's why India is still broken today. You watch China sail away. You don't see India taking over manufacturing in their massive population. You don't see them going anywhere because they're overridden by the crown. It's a corrupt first-class citizenry running everything entirely, and nobody can get ahead. Nobody can go forward as the UN Charter intended. Countries like Russia, United States of America, you can say what you like. These are powerhouses from World War II, and still powerhouses today. Why is that? Well, it's because they're federal, they're free of the crown, and they're exceptional. Their people are exceptional because they have powers, division of powers, cemented in we the people. People focus on Russia, on their federal autocracy, and there is a measure of that. But what of the regions and those cemented powers? How do those run? I can promise you, It's very much contrary to Vladimir Putin. And if he tries to overpower that, he's going to be in a civil revolution. This is the same as the United States of America. There are checks and balances in those systems that have rules of governance, how to govern, and absolute accountability. Is it perfect? Is Russia perfect? No. Are there major problems with Russia I don't think Canadians would like? Sure. Are there problems with USA that Canadians wouldn't like? Sure. But why is Canadians? It's, oh, how dare you become an American? How dare you get a dual citizenship? But yet, a first-time Canadian from any of the Commonwealth countries, Australian, Canadian, full accent, first-time Canadian is all of a sudden a minister in your Majesty's Royal Crown government. How can we have people from Africa who are that particular country of those 52 nations, one of which is in the Commonwealth, how come they're first-time Canadians and they're that country Canadian, India Canadian, UK Canadian, Australia Canadian, Somalia Canadian, you know what I mean? The list goes on. We don't bat an eye. No problem. Elected, signed, sealed, certified. That's okay. But if you dare come forward, dual citizenship with the United States of America, heresy, heresy. They want to separate God from state. They refer to it as your honor and discount all of those narratives. They believe in a separation of religion and government. Heretics, evil, evil. But yet all of your Bibles, I can take the largest religions in this world. The crown is absolutely in the face of every organized religion, the most popular ones, including the traditionalist. You know who that is, right? That's all the First Peoples in Canada. Your creator, your beliefs are absolutely in contrary to the crown. You deal with government, you throw the creator, you throw Muhammad, you throw Jesus, you throw Moses, and everybody in any Old Testament or traditional religious narrative in the garbage. And you turn around after your ceremony, after your visit to the church, especially lawyers, justices who say, you know, and I'm not trying to throw people under the bus here. I'm trying to explain Artur Polański, who comes from Poland. He's Polish-Canadian, dual citizen. And apparently he has a problem with the idea that the omnipotence of the government has a problem with him. Artur, you can't distinguish God from the politician. That's just not how we do it in Canada. I'm sorry that you're Polish-Canadian. We've allowed that, but you're not allowed to refer to us as not of God. We are your gods, Artur Polański. Read your Constitution, live it, learn it. Every time you come to court, every time we arrest you, we beat it into you. We're going to convert you, Artur. We're going to do it through justice system. You will keep saying, Your Majesty, Your Worship, Your Highness, in whatever court we put you into. You will say, Eminence, you've already signed off on it. We're already programming you against your church, against the principles designed and institutionalized into the soul of the nation, Poland. We're ripping that away from you every time we arrest you, every time you go to court. I should have tagged Dawood, his brother. I should tag him. I should actually tag John Carpe in this video. Learn these things, people. You can go to church all day long, but every time you leave church and you go into your judicial system and you say these words don't mean anything, it's just honorary. I suggest that the next time you go to the church you ask your bishop, your pastor, your priest, all of them and all their narratives, your religious leaders, ask them, is it right to be addressing another human being as your Lord, my eminence, my worship? Please, if any of you don't understand this, please show me in definition, in a multitude. Canadian Oxford, Oxford UK, Webster, America, Lexigalos, Russia. Explain this to me, Canadians, citizens of the Commonwealth. Why is it when I tell you I'm going to do a different narrative, I'm going to go through a different system of the world, I'm going to get dual citizenship, that all of a sudden, oh, you evil, dirty, rotten scoundrel, oh, but yet, again, India, Canadian, UK, Canadian, Australian, Canadian, Somalia, Canadian. All of these narratives are fine and dandy. You even elect them. You elect them to MP, to your legislature. They become your mayor. They're allowed to have all that. And everyone's like this. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I follow the Crown common law system. The customary law of the Crown. I love it. I love the hypocrisy. I love saying those words. I love worshiping another human being. I learned it as a little baby. A little baby. My whole life, as did my parents before me, my parents before them, and on and on and on until you've reached the end of your roots in Canada, and then you go out into the international world. Or you're a first person and it's been your status. For more than 150 clear years, First People's been fighting this narrative. But, you know, it's funny, never once has anyone said the words, the connotations. And if you think, I'm not a literarian, I read a tremendous volume to get here. I have to listen to a lot of legal minds. I'm an economist. My skills are in math. I'm fortunate the legal system somehow goes over that. In my narrative, it's worked really well for me. It's kept me free from the hypocrisy, somehow able to break free from the institutionalization, which would be my upbringing, my education in this country known as Canada. So many people don't see it. So many people don't want to see it. But when, Canadians, do we address it? When do we say, wait a minute, these are connotations. They have definitions. They have strong theological meanings. Regardless of whatever we lie, oh, it's just honorary. Then we should only use one term, honor, as in it's honorary. Sorry, you're in an honorary position in government. It doesn't mean you're a god over me, and I shouldn't use any words placing you as a god over me or anybody else, or signifying that you're some kind of divine person and I'm a sorry piece of shit. Because that's what you're saying. And you all feel it if you've ever been through the court system. A great one is being through the court system as a father, going through a divorce, and you have children. You learn those connotations, don't you? How many of you, raise your hand, I know I can, went through the court system from start to finish, and you get weaker and weaker and weaker. Your Majesty, Your Honor, Your Highness, Your Worship. You're saying it every day. And the lawyer's telling you, you remember you talk like that. When you're spoken to, you answer, you tell him. Now they'll throw you out. They'll charge you, they'll call you, they'll do all kinds of things. You remember, speak the connotations. Speak them. How can any Christian, Muslim, Judaist, and on, traditionalist, how can you go into a courtroom going against everything taught you? And I know those ones I've listed, you're all overlap there. Don't give me or not. I've spent a lot of time in theology and history to know what is right and wrong across all four of those I've listed, which are in a mass majority in this country, a mass majority. How can you, on your book and on your beliefs and in your religious right to freedom, turn around and in one sentence throw it all away, absolutely dispelling everything Old Testament, everything New Testament, and everything you've ever learned. And when I say Old Testament, that is your Quran, that is your book of Israel for the Judeans. I know I'm not saying it right. Geez, I can't believe I didn't get that book. But that's what happens sometimes. Everybody, look at what you're taught in religious freedom and the hypocrisy of the Canadian government, of all the Commonwealth, and how can you breathe those words, those connotations? Tell me that in any way, shape, or form represents anything in any of your religious texts. None, none, none whatsoever. In fact, of the 10 Commandments, at least for all those who believe in that, which overlaps 3 of the largest organized religions in the world today, how can you do that on any basis ever? How can you ever expect a first person, the first peoples, to ever go in that system? They don't. And they've been rebelling for more than 150 years to great destruction. Great destruction, literally. Still to this day, a silent war on those people. Much, much worse than the United States of America, because it's still going on in Canada. And many Canadians find themselves getting turned into the first-person narrative. You get turned into it. You don't accept that divinity, you get turned into it. I'm going to take questions and answers now. Tina's here, so I'll go through and scroll. I'm going to go back to the beginning, and we're going to have a good look and see what we got here. Now, it's always good to see how many people watch all the time and roll through, because you get a wide audience, and sometimes I repeat a lot of stuff, people. I have to do that because there's so many different people at different times. It's the way it goes. I'm going through, and it's showing me everybody, but it seems to, what I hate is, okay, who declares this a pandemic so that emergency measures can be put in place? Trudeau Federal, it's a statement, right? Okay, Dale Anderson, for one, the international law, legal system in this world that every nation must follow is by 5 countries, because any one of those 5 has a veto power, and if they use that veto, nobody can act anything in any real legal terms. Now, countries can enact things, but that's the first part here to answer your question. First and foremost, worldwide, Russia, USA, United Kingdom, France, and China, all 5, the allies of World War II, in the WHO narrative of the time, with a 3% narrative, which is a check mark for those guys. They ruled this a world pandemic. All 5 of them have crafted vaccines. All 5 of them have created a lot, if not absolutely all, the safety precautions we can take going forward. They narrated all of it. They ruled it. The world answers to them. Now, federally, Justin Trudeau, all UN states do. That means for Canada, the federalist system, it was Justin Trudeau who answered that. Justin Trudeau is making his own narrative. Federally, in what's called the Division of Powers, Section 91, which is only federal employees and absolute international boundary crossings. Absolutely all other mandates by every single municipality up to the provincial governments of said 10 regions and 3 territories absolutely make their own. Absolutely, and 100%, 85% of everything you're going through in mandate and restrictions, loss of business, all of it, masking, social distancing, what you can do publicly, all 85% of it falls into the provincial premier's prerogative. And I promise you, there are no constitutions in any province or territory or any rules that say that that elected official can't do whatever they want and enact anything they want. Yes, through the Prime Minister, but the Prime Minister can't act unless the Premier asks them to and they make a deal. Then they can usurp all democracy. Your democracy, emergency measures were usurped. It's the power of the provincial government, 85% of it. The convoy targeting Ottawa is wrong. It's wrong. You think you can bully the Prime Minister into making premiers do anything? They won't. All premiers are different parties. If a premier wants a bill passed, yes, Prime Minister can have a veto through Governor General to the Lieutenant Governors. This is the Crown customary law that's always been there, always will be. The ministries decide outside of any elected assemblies, which is legislatures, or for the federal, the House of Commons. They can go outside of that, and there's nothing you can do about it. Look at emergency measures enacted by ministries appointed. They do what they want provincially, and you got to eat it. This is your business rights, your rights to public places and spaces, unless again it's of the federal government, which is very little, you guys. Does the federal government spend the most of your tax dollars? Absolutely. Do you physically see any of that money when you look around? No. What you physically see in large portion is the provincial, even though it's not all the money, but there is also the laws over you. That's who holds the power. I hope that answered your question. They all have a portion of a crown. They all wear one. You have to target all of the crown. We have to destroy it all, and we have to understand it. To understand it, you need to know what's Section 91 for Trudeau, what's Section 92 for the premiers, because the premiers have absolute autocracy. I'm not saying the Constitution of Canada isn't highly abusive, because it is. It's garbage. It needs to be dismembered and redesigned. But as bad as that is, in its Crown customary law, there is literally nothing for any province or territory. Those autocrats run full autocracy any given day of the week they like, as long as you've got them in power, and until they hold an election, you're stuck with it. You need to do these fights, these strikes, these movements and convoys to the provincial legislatures as well, because Trudeau can't end them until the provincial premiers wish to end them. That's how it works. And they use the crown for only their benefit, never for any of yours. That's how they pass it back and forth. Children's genocide on the First Peoples. Federal government ate this shit up a long time ago. Post-1985, they watched the fall of South Africa, and they made sure, conservatives, liberals alike, that it was never going to happen to Canada. We got to keep Russia and USA in the dark. China too. They're dangerous. If they ever find out what we are, that we're the original Nazis, we are still the living design that led to Nazi Germany, because we're the original one. Do you think they want the Allies figuring that out? No way. So they made a new narrative, 1985, which is the Criminal Code of Canada, bragging about how they were cementing and enforced for apartheid, and they were all for it. Canada is South Africa, because they're way older than it, as it was in 1984. By 1993, Canada made sure to quit the real international court you will find USA and UK are in. They didn't quit it. International Court of Justice. Canada left it in 1993. Gone. We're a rogue UN state, ladies and gentlemen, with our own bullshit international courts, which a lot of people fall for. And if they haven't fallen for it, it's because they're part of the crown. They're not your friend. They're actually with one of those parties. They're truly a liberal, or they're truly NDP, or they're truly in the Conservative Party, and they're there to destroy you, to lead you down a rabbit hole. Or they're People's Party of Canada. They're loyal to Maxime Bernier, grifting, making money, telling you full-blown lies, so that you never ever get out from under the crown, because the crown is something they want to wear. They want you worshiping them like you always do. They want you to spit in the face of whatever organized religion you believe in and lie to your own God as you pray every night, but yet you go into these courthouses, you go before a municipality, or you go from a council, from the province, or from the federal government, or you go to the House of Commons, or you go to a legislature, and then you do everything that the Lord you have in your books from your organized religion tell you not to do. You breach the very commandments you're supposed to live by. But you do it because it's okay. It's just honorary, you know. It's just like using the Lord's name in vain. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. You're only subconsciously worshiping your divine leaders. You're only subconsciously breaching your religions. You're only throwing your cultures under the bus. Don't worry about it. Hope that answers your question. Let's see if I can get some more. Jennifer Hammond, yes, I'm still going forward with the party, but it's been slowing down. As we've seen the mental ignorance come forward, I have to let the anti-vax narrative go. I can't take it. I can't be focused on crown narratives to destroy. If anyone hasn't been paying attention, everything that is the PCC party of the Canadian Constitutionalists, is all about destroying the crown. That's an easy, simple narrative, legally how to do that. We have our crown positions, absolutely, we're working on that. We have to fill all the provinces. We have one narrative, which doesn't go into anybody else's special interest groups. That will never be. This is absolutely dismembering and redesigning the Canadian Constitution, relieving it of crown narratives, giving the power back to the people so that the people in conventions right across Canada, in every community, town hall, reserve, everyone's going to get the same education in every single minority language, including all of the First Peoples languages, by the world's greatest legal experts in the world, bar none, published, proven, everyone in the world knows who these people are. It will cost over $160 million, that is true, for a 1-year narrative where you get to go in a town hall, you get to bring forward your ideas, your narratives, all your concepts, and they tell you in real world history published outside of your country, all countries included, this is the history of the world, this is what's happened, this is international law, this is what you have to know, this is why what you're saying does or doesn't work, how it worked for this country, how it's not good for that country, this is what you're taught to believe, this is how it really is. And then you all get the majority education understanding. You learn what you can and can't do, the consequences, positives of what you do, because we're all institutionalized. We've all been trained in a crown system, and we will all be easily led into that divine dictatorship upon any kind of independence or any path forward without that education. Without these realizations, it's like a deprogramming. How about we all talk about the world, how it really is, what NWO as it really is, what business interests have over you, what the people need to know to protect themselves, how you make a constitution that fits everybody, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. And that's how you get a real country. That's how you make a soul for a nation. Because I promise you, the only soul that's in Canada is you're all garbage in a large margin, and an elite living in the socialism of the country, meaning taking all your money and wealth, putting it in their center bread baskets, filling their pockets as full, administering a divine level of socialism and a divine level of capitalism, meaning the worst of the worst for socialism, worst of the worst capitalism for all of you, the little people, the first people, the businesses. Well, they keep all the perks of socialism, all the perks of capitalism, absolutely only for themselves. That's really what this is about. It's about slavery. And if you don't see that, You don't see the historical abuses of very many peoples beginning and currently is the first peoples. Absolutely the third class is the living slave. Absolutely the second class that must adhere to the first class, because if you don't, you'll be thrown right back down to the third class. We will take away your status as a second-class business person. We will destroy your business. We will implement all of our justice, which is never about right or wrong, but absolutely about the divinity of a politician elected or appointed as they see fit. You either accept it or we'll destroy you. There's only enough lifeboats for those who supply the first class their power. And for everybody else, it's go down with the ship locked in the boiler. They close the hatch. Sorry, you must give the first and portion of the second class as much time to escape while you all go down with the ship. That is in essence what Canada is. That is the basis of Crown customary law, which is Canada today, as it is from every day forward from 1867. The secrecy of the Privy Councils, the Crown power in the background, the unpublished laws, not in writing, and they live and swear by it. You do it every day yourself. Your worship, your grace, your highness, my lord. Who says that? Who says that in 2022? 54 nations of the Commonwealth. 1/3 of the world population is ingrained, raised, and societally institutionalized by it. You say that over the course of a week, like I said, in any trial court of any level, and I promise you, you've already turned yourself into a low-life degenerate. You've already told yourself you're no good, you're not good enough. This is a supreme human being. And if you don't believe it within a week, you will believe it over the years to come as you keep saying it, you keep doing it. And we do. We know it feels funny, we know it's weird, but we do it anyway. We hire lawyers to do it for us. Let's see here. Jennifer asks, when will PCC be a real party in the mix? Jennifer, when we get across Canada and I'm satisfied I have the smartest, best intentioned Canadians who can't be usurped by Crown. They can't, which means staying away from special interests that clearly are of the Crown. And I have way too many radicals. It is my fault. I bear that weight on the shoulder. Too many freedom convoys. I got one type of Crown institutionalized citizen. Is 80% there? Sure. Many of you are not. Many of you have learned. Many of you are still learning, and it's beautiful. I know there's more, but it means me going right back around the circle. I would love to do it by door, because that's the best you're going to get. And that has to be done when we're in endemic mode, fully open, which is coming. I said last week 3 health leaders of the 10 provinces, 3 territories, we're about to step into number 4, as Dina Henshaw in Alberta is about ready to move into endemic mode. She is ready to move into endemic mode. But again, the Crown autocrats want their narrative going forward. I already know what that is. I'm not going to speak at this time. I want to collaborate more with world academics before I give you all that breaking news. I want to make sure it's right, it's said right, and you all understand it. Hope that answers your question, Jennifer. I guess the simple answer is not for some time. Building strong foundations require due diligence and actually doing the work and getting the right people. That is very tough in Canada, contrary to popular belief. I have a stack. Maybe one of these lives I'll show you a stack this high of how many people have signed up with our party. At least 80% I have to discard because I can't have a founding membership corrupted by the Crown. All of our Crown sworn positions in the party have already made a sworn oath to Tina Marovich. And everybody who wants a Crown position, those key positions on the legal path, have to swear that. They have to swear that. An oath never sworn in Canada before. They have to stay strong. We have several people from many provinces. And it's funny, we got the biggest provinces, Ontario and Quebec, covered already. Wasn't hard to find, but they're big provinces. You're going to find those mines freed. It's a little harder. The smaller it gets, the more propaganda, the more remote. It gets harder and harder because the Crown is always sticking it to the people. Don't let them escape. What else do we got here? Dave, you got to open your eyes. It's happening. I'm not sure what was said to me. Okay, there will be huge protests this weekend against Ontario provincial government's truckers too. Karen Rudy, that's great. If they start doing that, now you're getting there. Just like Alberta, Coots, Alberta. Now you're getting there. Again, I don't support the anti-vax, but I do like the anti-lockdowns. I do like an endemic, which is what we're at. And fight the provincial governments. That's how you win this. Trudeau couldn't do it even if he wanted to, unless he promises the premiers special powers. And for all Canadians in this protest, especially, if you don't want to lose more, don't give him that power. Go hammer on the legislatures. I'm not saying pull out of the federal. I'm saying start hammering on the provincial legislatures. And I mean, if you're ever going to look at a legislature, that traffic circle, Queen's Park, trucks all day long, circle swamped and swarmed, then cut off the 6 spider arms out, and guess what? You've shut down the real centralized government. How long will Doug Ford exist in that narrative? How long before he goes endemic? This is just my advice. I'm not saying people are going to do anything. I'm not telling people to go do protests. I'm giving you legal, spiritual, and credible advice on what is Canada. Thank you. It's not about anti-vax. 90% of truckers are vaccinated. Well, exactly, and that's why I didn't really support the narrative, and I believe in the vaccine. Whether people like that or not, it's not going to bother me. I just can't go with any special interests. I'm opposed to all special interests. It's all about you, the people, and not putting shit like that in anybody's platform. We have one platform to destroy the Crown. How all of you design the new government through an absolute education is how you all do it. All getting the same education. And I promise you, like Bloomberg News, if you haven't seen those awesome ads, it encapsulates everything I am. I love it. I told you all that would be our news media going forward. And I'm really happy the time with Michael Bloomberg's top stars. It's got, I'm tickled pink by that. I love having not control, but knowledge of what's happening in the world several days before it's going to come out in media. That is something incredible. And it's bringing a lot of people into my corner. If you haven't seen the great ads by Bloomberg, you all tell me what that is. Because to me, that is an evolution. And that is what I wanted to see. And I don't care who leads forward with it. Michael Bloomberg, great. Kudos to you. Love you. I love it. I love being a part of it. I love being a little light bulb in that Christmas tree, just to be able to be that person. I'm a Canadian, a third class to boot, and I'm there, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly incredible. Let's see what else we got here. I don't know if I've... Okay, I know what's going back. Okay, what's this? The powers given. Taylor. Oh, geez, it keeps going back to the top. I might need your help here, Tina. I don't know why it does this.
My video's shut, and now I don't got the first comments.
Oh, shoot. She's trying to get back into it, everybody. It's really annoying on the lives now, and I think they do that on purpose. Like, it right away goes right back to the top, so I don't get... Let's see if I got some... My personal is when Canadians wake up and stand up. Why does it do this every time? Eh? Okay, how close is JCCF and Pickford to solving anything? Any idea? Gary, I am sorry, and John Carpe is a good friend of mine. We are King's Court. Canadians, you can go to any academic circle. There is juristocracy, and there's King's Court. They're absolutely opposite. Independent judiciary in this country. Hear me out, everybody, because this is important. Independent judiciary means the government has no say over the highest courts of the land. Whether in federalism, that's the federal highest court of the land, the Supreme Court, or provincially or state in the division of powers, the Superior Court. In the States, they all have many different names as some of you have seen, and people gravitate to one, but that is only one region under one constitution, one of 50 states. When we get into these challenges made by my good friend John Carpe and the former Premier of Newfoundland and others, they're going in what's called King's Court, meaning the judiciary is not independent of government. In fact, it is appointed and sworn in Crown customary law to the Crown, meaning it all goes back to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He can, through lieutenant governors, through his governor general, or directly from his governor general, order them to tell any appointed judge not to rule in your favor, not to follow any constitution, or to ignore it, or not even hear the case, or even rule but not give you any way, shape, or form, any remedy. Like, for example, this was done over Omar Khadr. Got a judgment contrary to the Constitution of Canada, got a remedy, a big settlement contrary to the Constitution of Canada. Why is it okay in that situation, but not in others? Where is the common law, the law of precedent? The only common law in this country, everybody, the law of precedent. You can go to any school in Canada and learn what common law is. The law of precedent, the reasonable person. That is all that is common law. If you don't believe me, ask my good friend John Carpe. He'll tell you this. They do corporate law and they show you avenues of the common law, but again, it's the law of precedent, the reasonable person ruling. Canadians, it's all usurped by the highest law of the land, Crown customary law, King's Court. The King, who tells the King when those judges are sworn to the King? If the King says, you rule this way, I order you, you are sworn to me, you rule, make a remedy, make a decision based on what they say, or they remove your title. Because when you first got your bar, you had to swear the oath. I urge every Canadian to read what that oath is. Who's the Majesty? It's not Queen Elizabeth II, federally or provincially. It's your Premier, who is sworn to the Prime Minister, through Lieutenant Governor to Governor General. That is your crown. Queen Elizabeth, royal family, runs all your international law. Justin Trudeau has full reign over your federal. You go to the Supreme Court of Canada, Justin Trudeau can order the judges through his crown powers to make a ruling that he deems necessary. Same can be done in the province. Now, Tina has a question.
Okay, Callie Temple made a statement, provincial, yes, but with money dangled from the feds. They had to follow the federal prerogative to get the additional COVID funding.
Absolutely, Callie. And when we get into this too, this is so many provinces in majority ruling against the weaker ones. But again, Callie, how does that happen? How does that happen when you start reading that equality of regions and federalism and yada, 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 the 1982, overridden, of course, by 1867's overlapping constitution. For those who've never read Lois and Hole, Constitution 1 and 2 in the combined new Constitution of Canada. It's 1867, 1982. Read it start to finish. And I know Callie has. Yes, Callie, the federal government rolls out carrots for the provinces. It's the exact same thing as Justin Trudeau saying, listen, I collect the bulk of the taxation in this country. If you want a piece of it, you'll accept this. And the province says, okay, I will, but I want you to let the following bills go through. This is the portion, I'm not saying you don't understand, Kelly. I'm trying to answer you. It's the portion where guys like Jason Kenney are able to pass bills 1 all the way up to 32 in the province of Alberta through the year 2020. All of them are unconstitutional, Kelly. None of those laws could be passed without Lieutenant Governor. They are required by law in this country as the Crown to say no if it breaches the Constitution of Canada and not let it go forward. Even if it was by majority, they stamp the law, they let it go. The Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, who is under Governor General of Canada, Mary Simon now, who was Justice Wagner, by the way, Supreme Court of Canada, highest Chief of Justice, said breach the Constitution of Canada. Jason Kenney, stamp. Go ahead. Put in all these laws. We'll let you do it as long as we dangle these carrots. You take all of these, the $10 daycare. Next time it's going to be for the same kind of powers to abuse Albertans, Callie. It's going to be another carrot that Jason or whoever his predecessor is will go, oh yeah, okay, but I want to do all this abuse to my Albertans. I want to abuse them like no other Canadian through all these illegal laws, breaching the Constitution. But I need your Crown power to stamp it off, regardless if it's illegal or not. I need you to sign it off. Okay, I will, Justin Trudeau. And it's not them directly doing it. This is them on the phone with Lieutenant Governor and Lieutenant Governor to Governor General. So that way, publicly, they've never, ever done anything the sorts illegal. The Crown table. Who's the Crown? The people they're sworn to. Who they can fire and appoint. Justin Trudeau can. Any Prime Minister can. And premiers can have say if they sign off for the federal government. It's corrupt. It is in violation of every aspect of real federalism. It's in violation of anything real justice. Hence King's Court. Hence corruption of the Crown. Hence we're not really a federalist society, meaning division of powers. We're an autocracy that allows the Crown to usurp all of it. We're in contravention of the Charter 1945. Of course they follow it, Callie, because they want the power over all of their citizens. Jason wanted astronomical amounts of powers. You will not protest. You will not organize. You will not have anything if I don't say you do. You won't run a business unless I say you can. I won't let you on any property unless I say you can. This is massive illegal overreach of the provincial government, but all signed, sealed, and certified by one Justin Trudeau. Yes, do protests in Ottawa, but remember, you're not really going after what you need to if you don't smash the province at the same time, all the provinces. We're seeing in Alberta, great. If this weekend it smashes Doug Ford at the legislature, I'm going to say there we go. At least we're seeing a resistance as it should be, as it really is, and that people are understanding what they're doing and understanding their governing system here in Canada. That's all I'm just educating, is how to properly protest the government when they have these strong mandates going the right way. Another question, Tina?
Jennifer Hammond asked a question. She says, what if we get a non-confidence vote and get Trudeau out?
Everybody, there is no such thing as a non-confidence vote in Canada. Never has been, never will be. All these things are tricks. They are the same tricks, the illusion of democracy, and you guys all know this. You could get MPs to do a non-confidence vote, but who's going to do it? And does the Prime Minister have to recognize it? How is it Aaron O'Toole got tossed? Justin Trudeau told you all they would. I told you you're only going to make him stronger. And look what happened. These are illusions of democracies. The same illusion is the idea that you host a signing. You say, every Canadian, if we get enough signatures, to come forward, sign up, petition, we're going to get this done. None of them ever go forward, you guys. Not a one. Not a one. That's an illusion, an idea that you have some kind of power. But show me in any credible, real situation those positions have ever worked out. They haven't for a long, long time. You were told the question before, the and or answer. It's never what you really wanted. It's just like referendums. It's always referendums that lead nowhere. Those are the only referendums you're allowed. The petitions you ask never go anywhere, and they're never asked the right way anyway. You're actually petitioning to give up more rights and freedoms, often more so than not. They design the questions. It's not brought forward by the people. It's brought forward by the politician who never, ever leads you to anything of fruition. Never. Never has, never will be. Next question, Tina.
Dale Anderson states, I understand that, but if Trudeau hadn't declared this a pandemic, the premiers wouldn't be implementing all these mandates.
Every country in the world recognized this as a pandemic. Did Justin Trudeau go off the rails? Of course he did. He's a nut job. I hate his guts. It's not a big surprise. The Liberal Party of Canada and most of its provincial counterparts, as I've proven time and time again, are filled with first-class citizens, doctorates. Often, again, I'm going to say this, and I've proved it already many times. Many of you watching me have come and seen it. They're doctorates that are first-generation Canadian, meaning they're UK, Canadian, India, Canadian, Somalia, Canadian. I can go on through 54 Commonwealth nations. Everything but Canadian. Like, you were born in Canada and you have nothing to do with any other thing except for being a Canadian. You're not in that party. I'm sorry, you're not. Not large. And they will never, ever get you there. You're never going to see anything come forward that is ever going to get you out of any narrative that isn't for the crown. Go ahead, Tina. Meaning mandates, all of it. Trudeau had to order it a pandemic. It was a pandemic by world powers. How all the autocracy brought forward in the naming the pandemic, the emergency orders, that's all on the provinces. If you don't like it, it's because there's no constitution of any province. There's none. There's no rules of governance, how to govern, checks and balances, or any accountability. They can smash you, destroy you, literally rape, murder, and destroy your children, your mothers, your wives, your business, everything. There's no rule stopping them from going all the way to the end of the finish line on creative minds of the crown on what they can do to you. That comes from the provinces. Is it Trudeau's fault? Yeah, but what are you going to do? The world ruled that. What are you going to do? What you need is rules of governance, how to govern, and accountability. Without it, none of this is ever going to change. Long after the pandemic, come up with the next emergency. What happens if there's a flood, a hurricane, all of a sudden? You see it all the time. You've just never seen it for so long in such a large scale. Your country's broken, people. 2 systems, 1 crown, split evenly amongst all of them. It's bad. Next, Tina.
I believe that this is the last question, but if I have missed any, please post again and I will get Dave to answer your question. But Gary Bunzik, I hope I said that right, said, still registering your party?
Yeah, we're going to do the party, everybody. I'm going to state it again. I'm taking the party back to clean it out. We need 250 before we go forward after that point. But right now, I know none of you know this. I know no Canadian knows it. I'm probably the first one to ever go across Canada and show you the actual paperwork of registering a federal party. The 250 minimum founding membership, meaning the guiding light of the party, those with the power, the real power. I'm the only Canadian who's ever done it. And please, people, don't tell me, oh no, I got that, because getting a membership in a party, paying your $10, $20 is not a founding membership registered with the government of Canada. Just like executive boards of every party are not the legally registered board of the party in Elections Canada or elections whatever of any provincial power. None whatsoever. I built a provincial party, now I'm doing a federal one. The first thing I have to do is get a legally registered founding membership. Canadians registered with the government of Canada who will have this party in their narrative. I'm going to tell you again, the Conservative Party of Canada, that 250 board, is also the same board as the People's Party of Canada. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that everyone's a liar. I'm sorry I have to tell you this. I'm sorry that I have to tell you the founding membership of the Liberal Party of Canada has been dead for a long time. It belongs to a wealthy group. It's never going to change. NDP, same thing, even though they're much newer on the scene, but going back to, most of them are long gone. There are only 5 people who run and own that party. Same with the Liberals. Conservatives just rebranded the party, the CPC, not too long ago. But again, I'm going to tell you, none of you who joined PPC, People's Party of Canada, signed any founding membership documents. Don't even try to lie to me, because I have those founding documents. It's what I do with the PCC. We're going to get it done, but we're going to get it free from any Crown influence. So if you have a radical agenda and I sniff you out, we just rip up your founding membership. Does it mean that you won't be able to buy a membership down the road? No, you can do that. Anyone can do that. But what I'm doing has never been done publicly in Canadian history, let alone publishing the Shadow Crown. They won't even tell you in any other party, the autocracy. I am showing it to you before we even register. They will all be on the website when done. Each and every one of them sworn to you, the people, who will, when we get a minority government, just a minority. All I need is the title of Prime Minister. And within 30 days of winning that election, on the first day of winning the election, it will be a public statement of all the Shadow Crown going forward. So, how to destroy the Crown. That's all it's for. That's all our platform is. How to give the power back to the people and create a narrative going forward that's all by all of you. I will not write the Constitution of Canada. No one in our party will write the Constitution of Canada, except in the same manner as every Canadian and every First Persons from every community, Indian Reserve, no matter how remote you are, across the entirety of this land, you will get the same presentation everybody else gets, with the greatest minds in the world in your preferred language. That's all we're promising to do, to destroy the Crown, build a We the People Constitution with the best education, best minds in the world to teach you in real world history. Credited and published, no propaganda you grew up with. Answer all your questions by the greatest legal minds in the world. They will be paid very well to give this to you. That's what a real government does. That is our only platform. I will not be writing constitutions, running conventions. You're all going to be in that. Every Canadian from every walk of life, regardless of your status, you will be educated in a professional, one of its kind, and we will run them for years, upwards of a year's time as needed, till we've reached everybody entirely and you've all run it through. Tina's got another question.
Wendy Lavely asks, as a First Nation person, how could I approach my band? Surely First Nations see all this for what it is.
Wendy, The Crown has taken over all First Peoples, Inuit, Métis, and absolutely the ceded and unceded Indian. They have the Indian Act of 1876. They try white papers, many other things you've heard. Land back, First Peoples. Here's another one to prove my point here. So there's the reserves, very, very limited amount of land in Canada. Contrary to what everyone's told, there is only 11% of Canada, a little more than 11% of Canada, made available in any real status of private property to anybody. The rest is all Crown land. That's not First Peoples land. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It belongs to the first-class politician, that Crown, for them to see and do as they wish. As regards to chiefs and buying land back from the government, meaning government took the land and they sell it back to you, as well as other private citizens making Crown land available. You're buying land under their occupation, under their laws and their rights, under the Crown. Meaning just like a farmer, they can come along and say, we are taking this property, here's a payment, we need it for something else. Beat it. We paid you out, we're the Crown, you don't really own that land. You're leasing it from us is the truth. Even in what limited private property is made available to you in Canada. There's your Crown answer. Chiefs are in the Crown under the Indian Act. All national chief, committee of regional chiefs, all of it. You go down and down and down. The agency, the establishment, all built and developed by the Crown for the Crown. It is the First People's Crown positions, embraced by the government. I'm not running the chiefs down. We're at the end of the line. It's chiefs. Will you go forward on residential school genocide to the real international court by going to the real UN organ that's in charge of the real court? It's up to chiefs now. We're going to see when I go through all of you First Peoples. We're going to help me do this. You're going to get a private education. We're going through that. That's what we're doing for the next 2 months. But the Crown is part of the chiefs. That's why you can try, but good luck. A lot of you know it's wrong, but good luck. You know the Crown has already taken over. 1876. Tina has another question.
Dale Anderson replies to one of my statements in pertaining to who made this a pandemic. Well, he says yes, and that is why Canadians are standing up against the government and saying no to them taking away our rights and freedoms before it's too late and we have none left. I believe he's talking about the protesters.
Yeah, and the convoy.
On
Yeah, Dale, I mean, I like what's come out of the protest. It highlights the Crown. I'm not in for the anti-vaccine portion of it. I hear what you're saying about rights and freedoms, but that convoy is convoluted and polluted with a lot of things. I enjoy what I see in Coots, Alberta, much more right now, and a few other smaller places. Ottawa, I don't see it, and I don't see fighting for rights and freedoms, so to speak, as a lot of them aren't giving any narrative of what rights and freedoms they think that they're to impose on other people, and that's the problem I have. But that's just me and a huge majority of other Canadians. But I do see the validity of it, and I do love the narrative it's coming from the Crown. People are trying to say it's for this or that, but a lot of people don't support it. A lot of people don't. And you see it every day. At least I do when I'm on the 401. I see it every day in my life. Way, way more truckers just in one stretch of highway than it could ever be in all the convoys and all the narratives coming out here. Way more. And that clearly shows me a massive, massive majority of Canada. Just there, right there. Anything else, Tina?
I don't believe that we have anything left. There is Janice Choma.
Perfect. That's
she makes a statement and says, "No sound. If someone wants to contact me to explain, please."
No sound. Oh, so she can't hear the video.
Yeah.
It should be in your settings, Janice, but if you can't hear it, I don't know. It's
Restart your video. Just push it down and then hit it and bring it back up, and it should resolve your volume issue.
The other thing, Janice, because of internet connections and stuff, after I publish this video, just come back to it in about 6 hours, and it's likely all clean and refreshed. I do have open investigations by Facebook Canada consistently on all my stuff. I hardly ever lose on them, hardly ever. But they have, there's no end. They interrupt my live feeds by the crap they do, and it makes it hard for everybody to watch. But
I get it too. I get it too. I'm.
Yeah, everybody says there's sound. I want to say thanks, everybody. I'm going to let you go. I've talked too much, and I need water real bad. It's that early morning. Tina, can I have some coffee? Thanks, baby. Sorry, everybody, but you know your eyes water. You're like, oh.
I just wanted to say there was a very nice comment from Kathy McMaster, who said, "I love the vision you have, and we all must realize this will take much work and time. God bless you, Tina and Dave." Thank you,
thanks, Kathy, and everybody. And I know there are so very many of you. It's okay. I know, because I get so much all over Canada. I know many of you haven't left. It shows in the numbers. And I'm sorry for those who feel my narrative. But to keep this Crown narrative strong, we absolutely have to be free of the left and right. And in time, you're going to see that, especially with Bloomberg. You haven't seen the ads yet. You tell me, everybody, if that isn't the Davy boy. Me. If that's not me in Michael Bloomberg's newest ad narratives. For those who love football, you can check it out. It's been all over. You go through Spotify, you're going to see it. If you don't see me in those marketing statements and what we've been working on for 5 years, I don't know what to tell you. But I love it, everybody. It's awesome. And if anyone's been following me, you tell me that isn't me in Bloomberg. You tell me it isn't. It is. Love you all. Goodbye now.
I want to say one more thing.
Go ahead, Tina.
Wendy says, "I'm a member of Algonquin First Nation, our territory where the parliament sits. I live in Curve Lake First Nation. I just want to say I recognize you, I see you, and I know who you are."
Love it, everybody. Love you all. Bye now.
Bye.